You know what? It doesn't fail. It doesn't fail. Every time we meet each other, I just feel luxury is within you. It's enhancing. You're advancing. Your life is just getting better. You smell really, really good. I feel like anybody who listens to this podcast is so into that luxurious experience. They smell really good and they just want better for themselves. And I love that for us. I love that for us. And for those who are new, welcome to the Save the Good Girl podcast. My name is Erica. I am the host and the CEO, and I provide luxury you can see, feel, and hear. So whether you are listening to this podcast or you are reading my blog post on SAVETHEGOODGIRL.com, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe on the website. Or maybe you follow me on social media, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Facebook, on Threads. Or maybe you found me on YouTube and you're like, oh, I want to get to know more about this girl. This is her. I am here. Welcome to this episode, y'all. We are about to get started. And let me tell y'all real quick, this particular topic of do you even like you came up when I was talking to my friend on the phone. And I was speaking so passionately about this. She's like, no, this has to be an episode topic. So we are going to discuss, do you even like you? Do you? Like, do you even enjoy yourself? Do you like who you are, what you're becoming, and what's happening? Do you enjoy that? I have some thoughts on this, so let's get into this episode. So honestly, I really do feel like people who listen to the Save the Good Girl podcast or follow Save the Good Girl or have visited the website, like I really do feel like you smell good because my content is for people who are into a certain quality of life. They are getting themselves together. They want to live a fruitful life. They're into gratitude. They are into just acknowledging that they've made some mistakes, they've gone through some things, we all do, but they want to get better. They want to get better. And they're utilizing the podcast or the platform as a place to be free and like, oh, this is a good conversation. When you have a good conversation with a friend and you're like, wow, that was very enriching. Like, I feel good after this. Like, I feel better. I feel like I'm ready to like do something. That is my hope for this podcast for anybody who listens, that you just feel better or maybe just another perspective and you're like, "Huh." Because I don't come on here trying to preach like, yeah, I'm this perfect person, because I'm not. Every episode I believe I say that I'm working on things as well. Like, I'm working on it as I'm speaking through it. But the way that I look at this podcast, it's kind of like, and I've mentioned this in the other podcast, but it's kind of like if you're going down a particular road, like 10th Street. I don't know from 10 to 100 what's going to happen, but I know that on 10th Street and 11th Street, there's a pothole to the left. And I'm going to tell you, stay clear of that pothole. Now, what happens after that, I don't know. You know what I mean? So as I'm going through it, I want to share things that are really going to be enriching for you, really great conversations. And I do enjoy having these conversations because I love hearing feedback from you guys. So please, whenever you listen to this episode or any episode, actually, or social media or whatever you see from me, please let me know how it made you feel. If you're listening on YouTube, please leave a comment. I will respond. Send me an email, info@savethegoodgirl.com. I will respond. I would love to hear your feedback and how certain things has helped you. Somebody did reach out to me and told me that they listened to the episode and they followed everything that I said verbatim. And I was like, wow, that really means a lot. Somebody else mentioned to me that he doesn't normally celebrate his birthday, but after listening to my birthday lessons, reflections, and birthday lessons, reflections, and projections episode, that he wants to celebrate his birthday. He wants to celebrate himself. So I'm really into inspiring, and I don't know when I'm going to do it, right? Like, I'm doing this episode and I don't know who is going to touch. I don't know anything. I just know that I'm passionate about something. It's in my heart and I want to share it with you guys. So that's how I feel. So please be sure to follow me, check me out so that you are always staying connected. So in this conversation, let me tell you what happened. In this conversation, we were having a discussion, and I was saying that people do not like themselves. And not just like you don't love yourself, but they do not enjoy their own company. they don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to um kind of highlight certain things that they do like about themselves, because I feel like, including myself, we are always talking about things we can work on. Like, it's hard for people to accept compliments, because it's like, you look nice today. Yeah, girl, but you should have saw me yesterday. I was, like it's like it's hard for us to stay in a complimenting kind of phase. And of course, as of a lot of things, many things stems from childhood. So in order to determine how do you really feel about yourself and do you like yourself, we got to go back. And I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but it's really important, because everything that happened to us during our developmental years, this is really who we are now. We are the version of that child. When they say inner child and childhood, that's a real thing, because we are constantly seeking for things that we didn't get as children. We want it now as adults. And the only difference is that we can articulate ourselves better, and we're taller. Well, some of us, because I'm still very short. And we um we have access, right? We know how to say certain things now. But if you think about it, what is the difference between a child and an adult, besides, of course, obvious? But like, when children are upset and they're frustrated, they cry, they get temper tantrums. Adults do the same thing. So we need to go back and think about our childhood. Did you like yourself as a child? Did you? Why is that important? Because any insecurity or anything people have said to you, that is something we need to like work through now, because it is affecting how you live. Everything that we didn't get, or maybe we did get as a child, it affects how we are as adults. It affects how we are as parents. It affects how we are as lovers. It affects how we are as friends. We don't know how to show up for people if we never seen a healthy relationship as a kid. You've never been around it. How can you really give that to someone else? How can you really be a great lover, in a great relationship, be a great friend, if you don't really know what that really looks like, and you don't take the time to acknowledge that something has to change, right? So I feel like, to really understand if you like yourself, did you like yourself when you were in elementary school? Did you? And if you did, why? Right? And if you didn't, why? Did you like yourself when you were in high school? Did you like yourself when you went to college, or when you decided to do different endeavors? Did you like yourself then? Because if not, we are constantly going to seek validation from the areas that are vacant. We are. But do we know those areas are vacant? Do we understand that certain things has happened to us? That's why we act the way that we do. So I will say, for me, as a child, I did like myself, but I definitely had insecurities, because I was always like a plus size girl, right? So I had my insecurities. And I had my thoughts, and I always had my comparisons and all these other things. So I liked myself, but I also felt like if I was skinnier, then this would be better and I would be better. And academically, I just was always an overachiever, because I always wanted to make mommy and daddy happy. I've noticed that when I would do really well in school, mommy and daddy would respond a certain way. So I would want them to respond a certain way, which would make me a perfectionist, which now, as an adult, having these perfectionist traits, they're still here, they're still within me. And I still love to get that validation from my parents, because I see how hard they work, and I want to let them know I'm working hard too. So that kind of behavior seeped into high school, and it did seep into college, where I have this, I got to make sure that I'm doing everything right. I need to make sure that I'm this and I'm this and I'm that. And it wasn't until college, to be honest with you, where I challenged my insecurities. All throughout my adolescent years, and also during elementary school and all of that, I did like myself. I had a very vibrant personality, and I still do. And I attract people because of that. I think people genuinely like to be around me, which is great. But I didn't really like myself, like, really get into me until I was in college, which is crazy, because if you knew me, you would never think that, because I'm very like out there, vibrant, da da da. But then when I got into college, I was like, you know what? I I literally did not go on vacations because of insecurities. And I feel like I was missing out. I don't have much regrets in life. One of them I would say is me not traveling a lot during college years. Like, it's just something different when you do certain things at a certain age. I'm not saying it's impossible. Clearly I travel a lot now, but it's different when you're like in college and you're with your college girls and it's like 80 y'all in a room and it's you know I didn't start doing that until I was like, I did my trip with my girls when I was like 23, and I was honest with them and I told them straight up, like, yo, I never went to trip with y'all because I was insecure. I did not like my body. I did not like anything about me. I felt like all of you guys were this, and I was this, and I was that. And what's crazy, I'll never forget this. When I wore that swimsuit, so I bought a two-piece, and during that time, plus size fashion was not like it. You know what I mean? It was just a whole bunch of flowers. Who the hell want to wear flowers all the time and fruits? What the hell? So I I I wore a two-piece and I was scared. And I got dressed, and it took me about 2 hours to get out the room. And one of my friends, she was not leaving unless I left, and I appreciated her till this day. I appreciate her for doing that because I was very adamant on not getting dressed. And she was like, "No, you're coming out. We're going out together. I don't care. I'm going to wait for you." And she did. She did wait for a long time. I mean, I was crying in the bathroom and all of that. And y'all, I went downstairs. I'm walking, skedaddling my ass right downstairs. There's this big pool party. I mean, hundreds of people were at this pool party. I go downstairs and no one cared. No one looked. If anything, I got so many compliments on like, wow, you're killing it. You doing it. I love this. Da, da, da. Because at the time, plus size girls weren't wearing two pieces. It was one piece. It was fruits and flowers, the F&F crew. And here I am with a leopard. Now I'm laughing because it's like, what? You know, it's like when I do think, I get so scared, right? And when I actually do stuff, I come out really big. So here I am with a leopard two-piece swimsuit, walking out. Nobody's saying nothing. Men are actually on me, sitting down, talking to me, wanting to get to know me. What's your name? I love that because there were girls who were slimmer, skinnier, smaller than me, and they weren't wearing two pieces. And here I am and nobody cared. So this is the development of me understanding the trajectory of how I treated myself from adolescence up until that point where I was coming into my confidence, coming into understanding Erica, coming into did I like myself? Because it's so important, y'all, for us to understand that because we move and operate, okay, from childhood trauma. I am not a therapist. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not, but this is not something that is unheard of and it's not uncommon. When you go to therapy, they always mention your childhood because we operate and we move and we make decisions and our egos. A lot of things that we do is driven by what we received and what we did not receive as a child. So when I ask the question, do you even like you? We have to go back to childhood. We have to go back to what happened. And I know why we got to talk about this, Erica. I don't want to. It's hard. I moved past it. I'm good. Are you? Are you? Because in order for you to enjoy time with yourself, we need to heal that. We need to acknowledge that. We need to talk about that. We need to think about it. Like, I want you to really think about it. Did I like myself as a kid? And if you did, phenomenal. Move on to the next step. Did I like myself as an adolescent? Because, adolescence, teenage years, a lot of things happen during that time. For anybody who's a teenager that's listening, a lot happens during that time. And I want you to know that all your feelings are validated. There's a lot going on. You're discovering yourself. You're learning. You're experiencing different things. You're talking to different people. You're realizing this person's not your friend and that person's your friend. It's a lot of things that happens with high school. A lot. So when you're going through high school and college, and do I like me though? Because if I like me, then I can attract people who are, who represent something that I enjoy. If I don't like me, I'm constantly seeking the validation of others. I become a people pleaser. Ooh, now we getting into it, right? I become a people pleaser. I don't have boundaries. My values are skewed. My values are there based on who likes it and who I want to appease. So who am I really? Now, when it comes to my love life, I look for men to define me. I look for men to tell me who I am. So now when they are not with me, I feel lost and incomplete because I never knew who I was. You see how I'm getting deep with y'all? Do you like yourself? We're going to get to love in a minute, but do you like yourself? So we got to talk about the adolescence. We got to talk about the childhood. And once we get into that, we got to get into the next step. How do we feel about ourselves now? So now that we are thinking about our childhood, our adolescent years, when we start working, there's so many developmental steps that are happening. And in the latest SOE, I talked about being automatically updated. If you haven't listened to the episode, take a listen. It's really, really good. But we are constantly being automatically updated. And now, when we get those updates, do we like those updates that are happening? And in that episode, I shared that sometimes we go through different experiences, and those experiences, whether they're good or enriching or thought provoking or sad, sometimes those experiences really, really automatically updates us without us even knowing it. And now we have to deal with this new version of us, and we don't even know who this person is. Like, you start to realize you get annoyed by certain things. You don't talk to people about certain things. Certain friendships are changing. You don't know what's happening. You need more from romance, like when it comes to love. So it's like, do you understand what's happening? And this thought came to me because this is what I'm going through right now. I am being automatically updated every single time I learn something or something hits me. I am being automatically updated. A few weeks ago, I did an episode, If and When, right? If I have this, then I'll be happy. When I have this, then I'll be happy. I learned that from my therapist. And now I've been updated to understand, oh my gosh, am I not being fully present in life because I'm constantly thinking, when I have this, I'll be happy, or if I have this, I'll be happy. So now I'm catching myself more. Another thing I always say, should. I should have this. I should have done this. I should. She's mentioned to me that should is a dangerous word for me. It's a cognitive dissonance. That's what I've learned yesterday. you know? So every time we allow ourselves to learn and be vulnerable, because you don't learn the lesson that's really for you if vulnerability is not present. People cannot give you something. You can't get the full message if you're not honest about what's really going on. So now the question is, do you like yourself now? Right? Whatever happened in the past, we need to acknowledge it, but we can't dwell on it. It's more so an understanding of how we have become who we are and what we need to do to kind of be just into the change, right? Like, we are changing. So it's like, what is that change? What does that look like for us? Do you like yourself now? Can you have time alone? I have realized and I have seen that many people do not enjoy their own company. They always have to have TV on. They always have to be out with people. They cannot do things alone. They cannot spend time alone. So, therefore, you're not processing. How do you have time to process when you're constantly being, you have some distractions in the background every single time? How do you have time to process, to think, to be like, do you enjoy being around you? Can you go to a restaurant and do lunch alone? Can you have dinner alone? Can you have a full day alone? Not just running errands, but like really having a day. I enjoy my company. I love being around my friends. I love being around my family. As I've stated, I love quality time. There's nothing more that I love than quality time. I love it, but I also love spending time with me. Last year, I was working, I was doing all of this work, and I was tired. And every Friday, I decided I'm going to take myself out on a date. I was going to try different restaurants. I'm tired. It's the end of the week. If I wasn't doing that, I was coming home, drinking my wine, watching a good TV show, or following up with a friend, right? But I like spending time with me. I like it. I would create days for myself. Like, I love TJ Maxx, y'all. TJ Maxx is a discounted store. For those who are listening internationally, it is a discounted store in the US, and it's amazing. It has everything. Okay. I love that place. I would be like, you know what? After work, I'm gonna go to TJ Maxx. I'm gonna get a new candle. I'm gonna get a new journal. I'm going to try this spot for dinner because sometimes I don't want to wait for nobody. you know, I don't want to wait for people. It's sometimes I like to do things alone in my own time and I'm just chilling and I'm just in this space, I'm just being. Some people really don't like their own company. They don't want to be alone. They don't know how to have dinner alone or just having a lunch special alone. Or if you want an ice cream, treating yourself to ice cream because sometimes people are not always going to be available when you are. They're not always going to have the time. So, do you do that? Do you take yourself out? Whether you're in a relationship or not, it doesn't really matter. Because I don't believe that being a mesh with somebody, whether it's your friends or your man or your family, being so enmeshed is just not healthy. There's a big dependency on there, on that person. And it's a lot of weight on that person because that person can't move without you struggling along. Like, damn, can I breathe? you know what I mean? Can I live? Can I breathe? Inhale, exhale, get off of me, Cisco. I don't know if y'all remember that song, but can I breathe? You are on me. And I think a lot of times people in relationships tend to make that mistake where it's like, it's us against the world. For me, for Erica, I don't believe in that mantra. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's not us against the world, okay? Because there's a lot of people that developed me. I am the product of every environment I choose to be in and I choose to get out. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like I can um be with you and love you, but it's us with everybody else that helped me get here. And I love you, but as a man, you might not care about TJ Maxx and candles and sparkles. you might not care about that. And that's okay. And that's all right. I want to have my alone time. I want to process. I like to journal. I haven't journaled. So, y'all, I got a new journal, right? For a new chapter. I haven't written in it yet. So I have to start writing. But I like to journal. I like to write in my gratitude journal. I like to get coffee and sip it slow. I like to go to TJ Maxx and smell candles. I like to go to the park and just be by the water and talk to God. I like to try a different restaurant, like a lunch special. I like to get my dinner and just have my alone time. I like myself. I think I'm pretty fun. Do you like you? And I do this in a healthy way, not in a way where I'm completely out, where I'm not talking to anybody, but do you enjoy your company? Do you like who you are alone? Because if you do, then everybody around you is going to see that energy, is going to be attracted to it regardless. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to fight for people to like you. You don't have to people please and yes, 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 and have no boundaries and do whatever just for people to like you. You're doing you, you're being you. And people respect that. It's not just like, oh, sure. Like I am accommodating. I like to work with people. I can understand. We can have conversations, we can discuss, etc. But I have boundaries. I have to respect myself. When it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. When I know that I need that alone time, I need that alone time. When God calls me and he's like, sis, sit down, you got to sit down. Because every time I read my devotional, it's so timely on what I'm going through at the moment. Now it's God's time, right? So understanding yourself a little bit more so you know what you need more of or what you need less of. If you don't like who you are, you're going to find yourself in situations that are very unhealthy and toxic and unfortunately detrimental to your emotional well-being. If you don't know who you are, if you don't like you, and you're waiting for someone to define you, and once they stop being a dictionary for you, now you're lost in the world. You don't know who you are, you don't know what you like, what your values are, you don't know nothing. Because again, who are you? You have been updated. Do you know this updated version of you? What does this updated version like? You can spend time with people, but it's like, what about you? What do you like? What fragrances do you like now? Because my palette changed. Like I used to be, well, okay. I still like sweet fragrances, but lately I've been into like lemon fragrances. I've been into like musk and vanilla. Nah, it wasn't really my thing. That wasn't really my thing. you know? Now I like pickles. I never liked pickles before. Now I like cucumbers. I never liked that before. And I'm learning this as I'm going, right? Now I'm realizing that for me, romantically, I need someone that I can be vulnerable with because vulnerability is embedded within me and it wants to come out, but it has to come out for the right person. I need someone that makes me feel safe. And I can say these things because I had time alone to process with myself. I had time, you know? So do you like yourself now? And if you don't, what changes do you think you need to make to like yourself? And I'm not talking about physical only. Like I know people will say my butt needs to be bigger. My hairline is receding. I want to lose weight. I want to gain weight. I want bigger boobs. I want to be taller. I want to be shorter. I want to be not just that, right? Not just that. That is important. I'm not going to, shy away from it. It is, right? Because when you look good, you feel good. I do believe that. But are there certain things you feel like, "Oh, I need to change this about myself?" Have you ever done that before? Like, you're like, "Ooh," because that happened to me. Like, "Ooh, I gotta change this about me. I need to add some understanding. Like, why did I just do that?" You know? So do you like yourself now? Did you like yourself before? And now it's like if we don't like ourselves, if we're not happy with if we are happy with who we are, phenomenal. I love that. I love that. But I can challenge because we're not perfect. Is there something that can be updated and enhanced and acknowledged? Because I went through an experience where I'm like, oh, I got to change that. I got to change that. So here's what happened. After going through something really difficult, you don't know who you are. Something happened. It's very harsh, it's very sharp, it's very serious, it's very detrimental to your development. And now you're like, who am I? Right? Who am I? Uh, because the things that I was interested in before, I don't care about. I'm growing up. We're growing up. All of us are growing up. And I'm so happy that I have people who are in their teens listening to this podcast because you are giving yourself a level up to everybody in your class right now. You should also share this with your classmates because they might need this too, right? We are growing. Whether you're in high school, you're going from freshman to sophomore, sophomore to junior, junior to senior, you're growing and you're not the same person. Like when you think about it, right? Senior year Erica and freshman year Erica, two different things. Two different things. So as I'm going through life and I'm going through these experiences and I'm going through changes and I'm like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? And I'm paying attention to how I react to certain things. I'm paying attention to my mood. I'm paying attention to my energy levels. Like, when certain people call you, you're like, like I'm paying attention to that because I could already feel the heaviness. I'm paying attention to people that I do get excited for when I speak to them. I'm paying attention to how I am. And there was a day where I genuinely enjoyed myself the entire day. I had fun with me. I had fun. And I was grateful that I had the opportunity to have the time to just do what I want. And I was on anybody's schedule or anything. I could just do what I want. If I want to stay here longer, I could stay there longer. If I don't, I don't. You know? But I enjoyed having that time. And it was when I was going to a coffee shop. I was going to a coffee shop. I got a new iPad. I was playing with my iPad and I was present in the coffee shop. It was beautiful marble tables. The aesthetic was just gorgeous. I felt very peaceful in there. The music was really great. The coffee was really great. And I'm just sipping, I'm enjoying, I'm observing. They had an outdoor area, so I went outside and I'm just with the trees. I'm just with the trees, with the breeze. And then after that, I went to Sephora. Did I need anything at Sephora? If you guys don't know, Sephora is like a makeup store. They have all types of makeup, perfume, whatever. Did I need anything at Sephora? No. But you know why I went? I just wanted to smell perfume. Perfume smells amazing and it makes me happy and it makes me feel good and it calms me down. So I went to Sephora and I was just smelling the different scents that was out, seeing what's new, seeing what I like and seeing what I don't. And I was like, wow, I really like this lemon scent. I really like this coffee scent. Even though I like coffee, I don't like coffee on me. But Mason Margiela has a coffee scent. And I was like, wow, I really like this scent. So I'm just, spraying different perfumes, playing with the glitter because y'all know I love to shimmer. Okay. If you don't know now, you know. I love glitter. I love shimmer. I love everything sparkly. So I'm just playing with that. Then after that, I decided to treat myself to lunch. So I had a good lunch. I was watching a show on my phone. And then after that, I went by the bridge and I was by the view of the water. And I'm just talking to God. And whenever I'm by water, I feel like I can always talk to God. This is where I feel really connected to Him. So I'm just talking to God. And I'm like, God, what's happening with my life? Like I'm going through my own, deep conversations with Him. But on the ride home, I was like, yo, I really enjoyed myself today. I had a good day. I felt good. I felt like I wasn't anxious. I wasn't worrying. I wasn't thinking about anything. And more importantly, I enjoyed my company. I enjoyed being with Erica. I enjoyed her. She was fun. She was great, you know? And I think sometimes what I've realized, y'all, nobody cares, yo. Don't be afraid to go to lunch by yourself. It's not weird. Everybody does it. Don't be afraid to go to dinner alone. It's not weird. Everybody does it. It is not that serious. I know people are very afraid to do solo trips. They're afraid to go to dinners alone. They won't go to the movies alone. Why? You cannot wait for people to do everything with you because if you keep waiting, you're going to wait forever. You're going to wait for a while. You know what I mean? Not everybody is on that same wavelength and they may not have the same interests as you. I know how I feel about TJ Maxx. I have a couple of friends who feel that way, but not everybody cares, right? Not everybody cares about maybe there might be a movie out that you might want to see. Not everybody wants to see, not even your man or your girl, They might not care. So it's like, so now you're going to deprive yourself of not doing something you always wanted to do because you don't have someone to be with you. Why? Why? There are many things that I've done alone. I've always wanted to go to this the Queen's Botanical Garden. I live in New York. There's a Queen's Botanical Garden. I always wanted to go. So you know what? I plan to go. Liking yourself, loving yourself, allowing yourself to experience things to the highest level in full brightness. You know when you do a photo and they have like the contrast, they have the vibrancy, they have the brightness. We need to live life in the brightness. Why are you always going to the grayscale? Why are we doing that? We need to live our life in vibrancy. Do you like yourself today? Yes or no? Yes? Phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing. No, that's okay too. Keep doing what you're doing minus what you need to work on. Keep doing what you're doing. If you realize that I don't like myself when I'm around this person. It's another thing. I don't like who I am when I'm around this person. Whenever I'm around this person, it's toxic. I'm angry. I'm yelling. I'm screaming. It's not peaceful. Whenever I'm around this person, I'm upset. Whenever I'm around this person, I'm rolling my eyes. Think about that. Think about that because that all adds into the development of you, right? Your boundaries, respecting yourself, loving yourself, spending time with yourself, acknowledging that you deserve more, acknowledging that you need more. That's big. Anytime you get to a place when you've learned something that affects you in that magnitude, that's huge. If you don't know who you are and you don't like yourself, you will be in a relationship that's completely unhealthy for you because you're letting someone define you. That's the worst mistake right there. The worst thing you can do is let somebody define you. You define yourself first, and then that person has to decide whether or not that definition is going to work for them. Now, I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying you got to be really harsh about it, but there's certain makeup of your DNA that's you. And as you start to enhance, so is your DNA, your identity, who you are, what you like. So you like certain things, and now because of this person, now you're going to act like you don't like it. Now because of this person saying that they don't like this type of music, now you don't like it. Now because no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am all for advancing and changing. Let's say you did like something, right? And somebody introduced you to something a little better and you're like, "Yo, I kind of let the decision be on your own." Don't follow people in that magnitude. We are all influenced by certain things. All of us are. But you need to influence yourself to be yourself. You need to like yourself. You need to be around yourself. You need to know yourself, know your boundaries, and know what you need and know what you want. You cannot meet someone and expect them to tell you, okay, well, this is exactly how it's going to be. Uh-uh. And the only way for you to understand it is if you spend time with yourself. Love yourself. Acknowledge that you are lit. Acknowledge that, all right, I've been through some things and it made me feel this way and I want to change this about me. I know that I have a patience issue. Me and God are working on it. I have a patience issue. I'm working on that. All right. I I'm very passionate. I'm very, very passionate. I'm a passionate friend. I'm a passionate family member. If I love you, I'm a ride for you. I'm a work for you. I'm gonna try to find a solution. In the past, I would keep fighting and keep calling and texting. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Come on, we gotta be together. We're friends. We're family. Now, say less. Say less. I will always make an attempt to communicate. I will always make an attempt to have a conversation. But at this point in my life, I have to accept people for who they are and where they are. And I accept it. I wasn't accepting. Yeah. I wasn't accepting before. Okay. I was very much so, no, let's talk. Let's figure it out. And it's like, yo, sometimes things just doesn't work, sis. You're changing, Erica. This person may not be the person in your life as you're elevating. Move on. You've tried. So when you have tried and tried and tried, you got to move on because now you are dishonoring yourself by consistently fighting for people to be in your life. Ew. No. No, 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 no. We are elevating, we are growing, and we are going to give people attention who give us attention and who love us for who we are. And as we're developing and as we're growing, my love, because I'm not the same Erica you knew 5 years ago. I'm not the same Erica you knew 3 years ago. I'm not the same Erica I was this year from January. I'm not. So as you start to like yourself more, you start to like people less. I mean, you're like, ew, I don't, not here for it. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say this in a whatever. It's just that you are developing yourself into something excellent. You're developing yourself into something phenomenal. You want to create a life that is bountiful and full of excitement and people that love you. But you have to love you first. Please. You know when they say love yourself first? It's not a joke, y'all. It's real. Love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself first, then now everybody else is going to get dibs and not you? Nah, yo. There's a lot of amazing things happening for us, and loving yourself and liking yourself and understanding that that is quality luxury. It's a luxury emotion when you like yourself and you love yourself, and everybody else has to just kind of, follow along. And if they don't, they can leave the bus. There's a next one, but it's not going to be on yours. So we talked about understanding if you liked yourself when you were a child, high school, college. I want you guys to really think about that because that's what I did. I really thought about, like, how did I feel when I was younger? Because I know that it really exemplifies who I am right now. It really does. And then where I am right now, which is all these automatic updates that are happening, changes are happening. The fact that I actually want to live experiencing really, really difficult challenges in my life, but deciding that I am not on this it is what it is kind of attitude. It's kind of like it is what it's not because I'm going to change it. You know what I mean? I want to change what's happening in my life, and I want to work on my belief system and believe that everything that I want I can still have. But I know it's a mindset thing, so I really want to work on that. Now I'm thinking about liking myself in the future, right? What do I want for future Erica? What do I see for her? What do you see for yourself? Because being in a place where you know who you are and you love who you are and you like who you are is the most beautiful feeling ever. It will assist you in every single function of your life, every area. Work, because when you know who you are, you like who you are, you love who you are, you take feedback differently because you want to get better. So now it's not so personal. Your relationships with people, your friendships with people, your family, everything will change because now you're at this place where you understand yourself. You know how you react. You know what you like. You know what you don't like. You know when to say yes. You know when to say no. You know when to say maybe. You know when to say, let me think about it. Let me process. A lot of issues we have, guys, is because we don't process. We don't take the time. We just kind of avoid, 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 avoid. Unfortunately, you avoid, avoid, avoid. The problem's still going to be there, as we know. That's why going to vices like, you know, over, like being overly sexual or drinking or eating or shopping or whatever, these things don't work. They don't last. You know, when people are sad, they buy something, it's like you want to buy this, you want to buy that. That's cute and all, but it's like it doesn't change the fact how you feel inside. Nothing can change the fact of how you feel inside. So when you understand who you are and you like yourself and you can be with you, right? If you haven't already, I would challenge you to do a solo trip. I would challenge you to do a solo trip. I talked about it in a manifestation solo staycation that I did a solo trip in the Bahamas and it was great. It was phenomenal. I learned a lot about me. Do a solo trip. If you haven't already, journal. I did an episode 2 about journaling, writing your thoughts down, understanding who you are and why you do the things you do, why you feel the way you feel. Like, why was I angry about this? Why did this bother me? Because all of that can unlock a lot within you that you haven't even realized. Pay attention to how people talk to you and how you respond to that. Why didn't you like when this person said that? What did it trigger within you? We have a lot of triggers. We have a lot of triggers. So instead of being angry, which is something that I used to do when I was younger, I was very like, I was just being mad and annoyed and curse everybody out. As I've gotten older, it's like, well, why was I doing that? You know, because I had this protective shield against myself. But why? You know, why? So I had to really get into myself and understand, you know, certain characteristics about me, my personality traits about me, the certain kind of people that I want to be around that feeds me, that makes me better, and people that sometimes, not that, that they're bad people, but sometimes people just use you because you have that energy, you have that personality, you care, you give a lot, and people see that and they take and take and take. At a certain point, when you respect yourself, you're like, nah, I'm good. I am all the way good, girl. I love you and I care about you, but I'm good. So I want to challenge you guys to think about that question. I know it's a very simple question, but do you like you? And if you do like yourself, even if you're like, yo, I'm good, Erica, I love me. Why do you like yourself though? What do you like about yourself? Have you noticed that you've been changing? Do you know what those changes are? What does that look like for you? Because I can tell you right now, I am at a place where I want to really immerse myself with life. I don't want to make many excuses. I know that I've been through something very difficult, so it did pause me, but I really want to live. I'm really at the place where I want to live my life. I want to like Erica. I want to love her. So, what does that look like? If I have to make physical changes, that's what I'm going to have to do. If I have to make financial changes, that's what I'm going to have to do. If I have to make some mental changes, mentally changing, because I know my belief system is difficult for me, I got to mentally believe every day that I can still get the life that I want, but I know that I also have to put action to it. So liking yourself is also being real. And being real, it hurts. I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy thing to deal with, but it's all for the betterment. It's all for the progress of us and the progress of you. So I challenge you to think about, do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? If you do, why? If not, why? And what steps can we take to like get to a place where it's like, yo, I really rock with me though. Can you go out to dinner by yourself? And if you haven't, I want you to try that. Can you go to a movie by yourself? Can you take a new class by yourself? Maybe you always want to do a pottery class, or you always wanted to do, something that you've always been interested in. Like something that I'm interested in that I really want to do is learn how to play the piano. Is there something like that that you want to do that you have never done before and you're like, I still want to do that? The ideas and the possibilities are limitless, especially when we have the opportunity to do it. We got to take it. So I challenge that. Do you even like you? But you want other people to like you? You want to be in love? You want a man? You want a girl? You want these wonderful friends? Do you like yourself though? Because we want to attract the right things for us, right? So it's not just like, I just want to be with this person because they're amazing. That's nice. But do you feel you're amazing? Or are you just looking for this person to be amazing? And then you just get to be in their light because it's not yours. You know what I mean? So I challenge you to think about it. I want you to really process, what I'm saying, and all the things you do like about yourself. I want you to expand on that. I love that I have great energy with people. I love that people like to be around me. I love that I am a strategic person. I love that I plan things out. I love that I'm very intentional about everything that I do when I do them. I'm very, very intentional. And I love that. That's not going to change. So this is not an episode saying like, oh my gosh, like, do you not like, no. This is really talking about there are certain elements that are happening that are changing within us. Do we like those elements? And if we do, let's do more of it. Let's be around with people. Let's really impact people like me doing this podcast. If we don't like it, if we don't like something, like I don't like the fact that my belief system is being challenged. I don't like the fact that I doubt a lot and I worry a lot and I'm concerned. That lets me know that spiritually I got to do something different. I got to talk to God more. It lets me know that I have to change my mindset. So all this is really doing is adding more solutions for me to get to an Erica that I really love and admire. And I want the same for you. So let's challenge ourselves. Let's do that because no one's going to do it for us. This is something that's an individualized solo plan. You can talk to whoever you want, but you're the only one. You're the only one that could ignite the action. You're the only one that could ignite the change. You're the only one that could ignite the love that you deserve to give yourself. Y'all, we made it to the end. As always, I want to hear your feedback. Please let me know, what did you think about this episode? What did you think about the challenge of really assessing how you feel about yourself, your environment, your love life, your professional career? Do you like yourself in all of those environments? How do you feel when you go to work? How do you feel in your relationship? How do you feel in your friendships? How do you feel? Have you changed? Have you realized that this is just not working for you anymore? And what are you going to do about it? Let me know what you think about it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel. You can always communicate with me on SaveTheGoodGirl.com. You can also communicate with me on social media. If you're not following me, please do. The stories are amazing. Instagram is fun. Pinterest is fun. Threads is fun. Facebook is fun. Whatever is convenient for you. And if you're listening to me on YouTube, please leave me a message, a comment. Let me know how you feel about this episode. And I really want to challenge you to understand that you are changing, my love. You are not the same person. And we have to develop you into exactly where you want to be and exactly where you want to go, because this life is short and we don't have time to waste. But I love you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys rocking with me every single week. And we got work to do. Do you like you? Do you really love who you are? It's a challenge. It's a question. Take your time to think about it, process, and get yourself exactly where you need to be. I know you could do it. I'm going to do it. I'm working on it. I know you are too. Let's do it together. I will talk to you next week on the Save the Good Girl podcast.